Welcome to Florida Gators Live, episode number 54. And I just want to start off the show. I want to ask you a question, Tyler.
Yeah.
Was last night's episode more depressing than our post game show to the USF game?
Probably in the sense that I just felt defeated. Like I just didn't even feel like I had much to say. I mean, the USF game, I was angrier because obviously we both thought this team was still going to do something. I abandoned hope of this team doing anything long ago. So I guess it's pick your poison on what's more depressing, like being disappointed when you had expectations or having no expectations at all.
I mean, I feel like we had a bit of expectations in both games.
Well, I mean, expectations, like I thought we were going to beat Kentucky, but it's like if we had, it'd be like, wow, we're 4-5 and still probably not going to a bowl game. So it's like, that's what I mean. It's just like, nothing. I'm not surprised by the Gators playing poorly anymore because we know this is just not a very good team.
We got some early commenters earlier before the show went live. JLB, hello, Tyler, his classic. And then I am Sam. Good evening, everyone. I just want to say one thing, and I know this might be too positive. I think starting Jones the rest of the year, especially with home games against Tennessee and FSU, would be great. We'll get into that here soon.
Yeah.
A couple things before we actually do get into that. The Jags. Oh, man. We were talking about it before the show, and, we're Florida. I bet a good amount of the viewers are also Jaguars fans. So just a moment of grief for all of us. Like, a game we had 19-point lead in the fourth quarter, and you lose that. I mean, two back-to-back 3-and-outs, like, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, that's the worst loss I can remember as a Jags fan. I mean, we've had games where we've just lost like 52-3, like that's happened before, but usually it was like at the end of a
Rams game 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, that was ugly, but like, man, with everything that was at stake, like you get a win. I think I saw the odds were like 70% to make the playoff with a win. And you got it up. You got a chance to sweep the Texans for the first time since 2017, maybe. I don't know if we've done it since then. And you just blow it with the worst fourth quarter collapse I've seen in the NFL in a pretty long time. So that was tough.
Since the 28-3, basically.
Yeah. There was that one. I remember the Colts blew, or either the Colts blew it or they came back. Maybe they came back.
Oh, against the Vikings.
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3 years ago. I know.
Yeah, it was like a primetime game where it was like 31-3 or something like that, and they came back.
Yeah. I mean, Sam, I saw the Jacksonville loss. How are these Florida teams doing this? I mean, look how FSU lost. They dropped, was it Randy Pittman? Yeah, Randy Pittman, I'm pretty sure, the tight end, just dropped a wide open catch that, could have changed the entire outcome of the game. I mean, Miami won last week, but that bad losses to Syracuse and Louisville.
Like, they also were bad. Like the offense, like I was watching a decent amount of that Miami game. I had it in the quad box. Like that, their offense was struggling in the first half.
It was. Yeah.
I mean, Beck did not play well, but Syracuse just doesn't have a quarterback. So eventually they pulled away. But I mean, they don't look great either. Like I think they could very easily lose to Pitt whenever they play them in a couple weeks.
Hey, College Game Day going to Pitt for their game against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Be a top 25 matchup.
Well, what's funny is I was saying, because there's a couple good SEC games, they chose that over. And I was thinking in my head, I was like, well, that is a playoff eliminator, but it really isn't for Pitt because they're still in the ACC race and losing that game wouldn't have any bearing on that. So it might not be for them, but it is for Notre Dame for sure.
FAU and USF won. Hey, they're carrying the state, I guess.
Yeah. Bucks are pretty good. Although they lost today, but the Bucks are still pretty good.
The Bucks. Oh, Buccaneers, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm thinking Milwaukee for some reason, and I'm just like, the Bucks. They lost, right? That's what you said.
They lost to the Patriots. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm like, I have Drake May in fantasy, and I thought they won, and I thought, yeah, okay. All right. I guess we can just get straight into it, and I think we have wrong tab. There we go. The Florida QB battle. We saw it last night. DJ Lagway was officially benched. Now is for the second half of the game against Kentucky.
Yeah.
I know I saw Billy Gonzalez say something about it on whether or on why he made the move, and about struggling. I can't remember if there was any inclination onto whether this is going to be a permanent change or if it was just because you bench the QB who's going to take in one half. So that's something we're going to have to figure out. You got something there?
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I'm trying to find the exact quote right now to see, because I actually did not see what he said. He said that was my decision. I think we had a rough first half, and I thought it might be good for him to just to gather and look at it from a coach's point and from a coach's point from the sideline. So that to me doesn't read. I mean, I'm not saying it isn't permanent, but like that reads to me more of like we had a quarterback who was seeing ghosts and we were down big and we just needed to have him sit for a little bit. Like that's how that reads to me.
Yeah, same in the comments. I'll assume he'll say if it's a permanent change in the presser tomorrow. I do expect we'll get an answer there. And, we'll give further analysis. But just to give our answers, I think Lagway is going to be starting for the Ole Miss game. I assume you're the same.
If I had to bet, I don't think it's like a foregone conclusion, but like I would say it's more likely than not that DJ starts. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely not a foregone conclusion. I mean, we got a comment right before we went live from I Am Sam, same person, saying that starting Jones the rest of the year, he thinks we should, and maybe help us beat Tennessee and FSU. And okay, so one thing I'll say about starting Trammell, he has 2 games left on his red shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I fully expect him to take a red shirt. That's kind of why I think I don't think you start him against Ole Miss, because I think if you think Trammell gives you a better chance to win, I think you should start him in those games where you're going to have a better chance to win. Because, I mean, quite frankly, Tennessee and FSU are way worse teams than what Ole Miss is.
Yeah.
And you're also talking about putting a true freshman on the road at what's going to probably be a sold-out environment at Ole Miss. I mean, it's not like Ole Miss Vaught Hemingway is the swamp, but it's still an SEC atmosphere that's going to be rocking for their top 5 team, I think. Sure.
Especially with everything that's going on around these 2 programs off the field right now.
Yeah. So I kind of think for that reason, you do start DJ Lagway for this Ole Miss game. And, again, unless it just go, I don't think you bench him again if you start him. I mean, if he's throwing 3 picks, he's not going to throw 3 picks in the first half again. That's just not going to happen.
If it happens, let's just remember that you said this on this broadcast, that there's no way it could possibly happen again. Let's pin that. Let's put a pin in that one and circle back.
Yeah, and I mean, Rob in the chat just brought the point that I was about to say.
Yeah, which I agree with this, Rob.
Trammell, this offense just sucks, period. Doesn't matter who the QB is. I do agree. I mean, I also think there was a part of it. They're just playing uninspired football.
Yeah.
Like, obviously,
receivers.
We've seen the offense play better. I mean, that was a horrible game. That was probably the worst game of the season. But we've seen the offense play better at points. So, saying the offense is good because statistically it's not. But they were just playing uninspired football. And if that's the trend that's going to keep going, this starting Trammell really even matter? Probably not.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, because like last night, you just couldn't run the ball. The offensive line just got bullied in that game. And that's, that Florida's offense is just so built on being able to run the ball. And obviously DJ didn't play well. I don't think Trammell, I think that's the problem here is I think this would be an entirely different conversation if Trammell came in and led a couple touchdown drives or something like that. And you had a real reason to believe you maybe found a spark there, but it looked like more of the same. So, we drive down the field to start the game and DJ throws a pick. Yeah. He makes really bad decisions. So, but the thing is, putting a true freshman on the spot in that environment, you're going to get some of that. You are just going to get some of that if you try to do that. So, I think the issue is say what you will about DJ, but he does still have just kind of the natural ability, and that does come through on a few plays. Even I think last night there were a couple throws where you could still see it. I don't think you get that with Trammell. So I think you just get a guy who's maybe not as mechanically broken right now, but is going to have, I think, a really hard time in this spot on the road against the top 5 team or top fringe top 5 teams. So yeah, that's the tough part.
Yeah, Rob. DJ also drove the ball down the field, and Daniels fumble. You can't do that. This game offensively was very similar to our game against LSU, where we actually drove the ball in the first half decently well. Like, I mean, if you remember, we were driving pretty well in the first half against LSU. We just couldn't finish drives, whether we settled for a field goal or we threw a pick or, ended up punting in around the 50. Like, we had some decent drives against LSU, and we had some decent drives in the first half of this game against Kentucky. The difference was the defense also just fell out in this game. I mean, the corners and safeties weren't covering anybody. The defensive line wasn't having their intensity, and linebackers weren't flying around the field. The defense just gave out in this game, and it's the same as the LSU game in the second half. The offense did nothing in the second half against LSU like it did against Kentucky last night. So the game did remind me a lot of that Kentucky game, and I mean the LSU game. I think the difference is though they just didn't play inspired football last night. Where in the LSU game they played bad, but they tried. I mean the defense tried, and the offense was trying.
You actually got a good game from the defense in the LSU game. That was the difference. We made, Garrett Nussmeier was the preseason Heisman contender, but it was Cutter Boley who's the one who finally tore him up.
Yeah, of all the QBs we faced, Arch, Nuss, Stockton, Beck. I mean, Byron Brown is a solid QB. I mean, all of these guys are better than Cutter. I mean, Cutter Boley had a good game, but he only had 168 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of that was also they could run the ball at will.
Yeah. I mean, the story of the game defensively was the inability to stop the run, but I also thought Cutter Boley played well and made nice plays.
Yeah.
And took advantage of a secondary that between injuries and then just some guys who will remain nameless still not being all that great, continues to be a limiting factor for the defense.
Yeah, it's just they finally gave up. And that's going to be the story for the rest of this season. Or have they fully given up? Was it just you're playing a bad Kentucky team on the road? The season's over. You have no motivation. And, maybe when you're playing Ole Miss, you'll actually be motivated. I mean, who knows? We'll figure out Saturday. And even if we play motivated, I don't think either of us are picking us to win that game. But, maybe you'll be competitive. Which I'd rather watch us lose a close game than watch us get blown out by 50.
Yeah, I mean, that's the question. Because, I mean, if that's what you're getting, you can just phone it in now. You're going to lose those last 3 games. We'll get into it, obviously. I'm a little probably more inclined to think that we're about to fold it in, but we'll see.
Yeah, noise are here. UK just kept bringing the same pass play. We're getting a bit off track here talking about defense, but keep with the QB battle kind of fell loose there. But no, I think it is pretty clear that you should go with Lagway. You want to maintain that Tramel Jones red shirt. You're going on the road against a top 5 opponent. I don't think you just throw the redshirt freshman or the true freshman in there when the season's already over. I mean, you can still make a bowl game if you win this game, but I don't think Tramel gives us that much higher of a chance to win.
See, I actually disagree with that a little bit. Not necessarily that he gives us a higher chance to win, but if it were me making the decision, I probably would start Tramel. I don't think they're going to. And the reason I don't think they're going to is because I think the only reason you do that is if you're at the point where internally there's no belief in DJ Lagway anymore. And I don't think they're there, but I personally kind of am. So, I mean, obviously I'm not there seeing practice. I don't know the ins and outs. Maybe Tramel just doesn't look good. But, I would probably be like, what do we have to lose at this point? We're 3-6. Let's see if we can get something different. Because if DJ is going to not be broken again, it's going to take an entire offseason. Like it's nothing that you can fix in a week of prep. So, I don't know what you can expect to see differently from him.
Yeah, I think Tramel would play more motivated. I agree there.
That's probably true. Yeah,
I think he probably would. I mean, unless DJ's trying to earn his job under Lane Kiffin being the next head coach.
Yeah. Can we address the Harrison Bailey question? Because I've seen
I was about to get to that.
I've seen a couple people talking about that in the chat. I mean, he lost the backup battle. Like in camp. I don't know what. I mean,
I'm not sure if I don't think he's a third string either. I'm pretty sure Warner's a third string.
Yeah, and I think we know what you get in Aiden Warner. I mean, look, man, if you're a veteran like that, losing your spot to Trammell was there in the spring, but still a guy who's been through 2 camps, hasn't played in a game. Like, I mean, is he an option? Like, yeah, he'll probably be there on the travel roster. Like, you could probably put him in if you needed to, but I don't think there's any reason to believe that would be an upgrade in any way.
Yeah, I think you're just getting I think he'd be better than Jack Miller, but I'm not sure how much better you're getting from that point, especially considering if the rest of the offense is also playing unmotivated football, specifically the offensive line. And, again, my opinion on the offensive line is still pretty similar. I mean, I know it's a bit of a hot take. Like, I still think it's the fact that the offense just has nothing to it, and defenses can easily just load the box, not worry too much about Lagway, and stop the run. And then, maybe Lagway hits a play or two, but he didn't against Kentucky last night. So I kind of still have a really similar opinion on our O-line. And I also still think the tight ends are a major problem. And I don't think a tight end missing a block should be placed on the offensive line. Now, Damian George in particular missed a couple blocks on some pretty crucial plays, but I mean, you're not going to win 100% of plays as an offensive lineman, but I still don't think this offensive line is as bad as people make it out to be. I think the issues around it and the scheming is going to make it look worse. Like, I think our offensive lines from the players and talent, like, I still think it's better than, like, Ole Miss, but people aren't saying Ole Miss has an offensive line issue when their running back is second in yards. And, I mean, they also have a QB who makes some miraculous plays for them. So I still think it's just the scheming, coaching, and, everything around the O-line that makes it a bit worse. And QB situation there does not help it at all.
Yeah, I mean, I agree in the sense that I think that the coaching, it doesn't, at least offensively, doesn't put anyone in a position to be successful. So, I mean, but I think that unit has obviously been a disappointment in the way it's performed. And Sam, like, there's just such a big experience gap between Mertz was a multi-year starter in the Big Ten. Harrison Bailey has started like 3 games sporadically throughout his career or something like that.
I'll also say, when we signed Mertz, there was a lot of backlash coming from me in particular as well. Like, we weren't doing this show, but when we signed Mertz, that wasn't some, oh my God, we're getting a veteran that everyone's going to love. No, we're getting a guy who the previous year, I think, was like 19 and 13 touchdown interception ratio.
It might have been even worse. Yeah, he was not coming off a good year at all.
No,
I felt the same way. I thought we rushed that and took a quarterback too early, and that was honestly that's part of the reason I got down on Billy so early on in his tenure, was because I didn't like the move to get Mertz, who ironically ended up probably being the most stabilizing thing Billy ever did.
And probably the second best QB of that transfer cycle. I mean, Sam Hartman. Like, I think probably maybe put number 1, but Sam Hartman was going from Notre Dame from day one. So that wasn't something Billy could have done. But like, Bailey just isn't Mertz. And Mertz also wasn't some home run transfer.
No.
So.
And I mean, you could get that from a veteran, but I mean, you're talking about it. I mean, like, legitimately, he's only played in, like, he has not started a lot of games.
No.
He's been around the block for a while. But he's only 4 starts. 4 starts this is his 6th year of college football. 18 appearances. He's attempted 171 passes across 6 years. Like, this is not a guy who has much experience at all. So I think that's a situation where if the staff thought a true freshman who wasn't even like a super highly regarded true freshman, if they already thought he was better than him, and Aiden Warner is as well, I think that probably tells you something.
Yeah, let's wrap up this segment because I want to address a comment from David here. But I think it's going to be Lagway. And, it's tough because if they just play uninspired football around him, it doesn't matter who the QB is. But I do think it is Lagway. I still do think he gives you there's always a fascination with a backup quarterback when your starter isn't perfect. I mean, Texas Tech fans were... during that Utah game where Baron Morton struggled a bit in the first 3 quarters, and then he got hurt, and Hammond came on, and they scored more points. They're like, yo, they should be starting Will Hammond, and he was a 4-star recruit as well. It's like, hey, this guy was a talented guy, and it's like, yo, this should be the starter. And then they saw him start, and he actually lost their one game to Arizona State, and it's like grass isn't always greener, and just because you're not getting perfection, I mean, Lagway's far from perfect. I'm kind of extending the boundaries here, but I don't think Trammell is going to give people what they think he's going to give us.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's times we've seen it happen before. Like, Trask was clearly should have been starting over Franks. Like, coaches can make the wrong decisions sometimes, but I still just think, like, this is a situation where, and again, the fact that you didn't see Trammell come in and really anything look super different with the offense, I think should just tell you how systemic the problems are with the offense right now.
Yeah, again, like, I think they will get up for Jones, but I don't think it matters. I'm not sure if it does matter, then yeah, but I don't necessarily think it is.
I'm also not sure it's fair to say Lagway's lost the team. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, he might have. I'm not saying he hasn't. I just it's not like we're seeing guys throw him under the bus in presser, talking to the media or whatever. So it's kind of hard to gauge that from the outside.
No, but I think it's going to be Lagway, and then maybe next week we'll be talking about this segment again, and I could change your answers, but I'm pretty confident it will be Lagway.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, here, a comment from another. I think Jones should be a game manager that can make some moves with his feet if he were to start these games. You're asking your true freshman to be a game manager.
Yeah,
which is possible, but like it's not common.
I mean, again, like I understand where you're coming from because DJ is in just such a bad spot mechanically where he can't even really do the easy stuff consistently right now. But obviously he's just throwing into triple coverage a lot of the time for absolutely no reason. I'm just saying and maybe some things would be better with Trammell, but like I think you have to expect that you're going to see some of those same mistakes, especially as we've said a million times in an offensive structure that does not put guys in the best position to be successful.
Yeah, David here. As soon as I heard you say this is not a good team, I knew this would be a waste of time. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I think I don't know. Is he talking about when I said that this isn't a good Florida team? I mean, like, look, if you think that, like, if your contention is that there's good players on this roster, I agree. But ultimately, you are what your record says you are. And Florida's a 3-6 team that's gotten blown out multiple times by the best teams they've had to play on their schedule. So, I mean, obviously they're not awful because they took Georgia.
Well, what best teams blew us out?
I mean, I call Miami a blowout. I call A&M a blowout. Maybe you just disagree on the definition of a blowout. If you're losing by 3 scores, to me, that's a blowout.
Were they 3? They were
19 and 17. Yeah, 19 and 17.
Yeah, I kind of think
when you're scoring 7 points, like 26-7, that, and when it probably could have easily been 33-7, like to me, that's a blowout. I think
if in both of those games we had the ball like near the. I mean, we were in the third. We were at the 33 against Miami. Like a game that you could have legitimately led or tied for in the fourth quarter. I don't consider a blowout. A blowout to me is that game's over by the start of the fourth quarter, maybe even third quarter.
I guess this just feels like splitting hairs to me when you've lost every single one of these games. Like, again, if it's one game where it's like that, it's like, okay, like, things got a little out of hand, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, robbing my side, so.
I mean, but again, the Miami game, it's like, how can you count the Miami game when you scored 7 points? Like, there was no reality where Florida was going to win that game because they couldn't score.
We were at the Miami 33 in the fourth quarter with the ball. Like,
and did we score points?
No, but it's a 4-quarter game where you could have led in the fourth quarter. Like, that's just not a blowout.
I hear what you're saying. It's just like, that's not a performance I'll defend in any way when you score 7 points.
Oh, I'm not defending it, but like,
yeah,
I'm standing on my beliefs no matter the scenario.
But it was a last second touchdown, but like they could have scored again too. So they could have made the score even worse at the end there if they wanted to. So
I value how the game went more than the final score.
I mean, I hear you, but the game went bad. Like, I don't.
That's fair. Hey, we held them to field goals and got a lucky dead ball, or they called the play dead on a 4th down or 3rd down. So Maybe got a bit lucky there, but our 4th down. So we got a bit lucky there. Yeah, Sam, game managers and just take care of the football and make smart plays. We don't know if Tramel's going to do that.
Yeah.
He's a true freshman.
He's a true freshman who, I mean, we saw him play pretty well against a bad Long Island. I mean, against a Long Island team that DJ looked pretty good against too. So it's not like that's the best test. And then like, again, it just like nothing fundamentally changed when he entered the game other than the turnovers. I'll give you that. He didn't throw the ball into just like complete hazardous territory the way DJ has, but I have a feeling that would probably come in a more high pressure situation on the road against a better team.
JLB, I'm so glad you guys are on. I need to vent. How does a coach pick 5 garbage guys on the offensive line who go backwards the year before they are supposed to get drafted? Here,
it's not about picking the guys. It's about the coaching, man. It's about the coaching.
And it's also like, look at last year, at the end of the year when we started running the ball at a pretty high level. You go look at like the Ole Miss, the LSU, the FSU, the Tulane game. Like, you look at the difference of how defenses are playing us in those games. And you go look at Ole Miss, their safeties are playing far back because they're threatened by DJ Lagway's arm. They're worried he's going to be throwing the ball and hitting deep shots. You compare it to this year when teams are loading the box with 8 players. Yeah. You know, there's 5 linemen to 8 defensive players. Like that's physically impossible to block 8 guys with an offensive line. And then you have the tight ends. You know, even if you get a 7-on-7, the tight ends suck. That's just plain simple. The tight ends are not good.
Yeah.
And even as run blockers, they're not that great. Like, you know, it was all like Hayden Hansen in particular. Like, it's like he's not the greatest pass catcher, but he's a good run blocker. I never said it, but like, I kind of always thought he was a bit overrated as a run blocker. Like, I thought he was a bit better pass catcher than run blocker, but everyone kind of just went with he's a better run blocker. And I was like, okay. But, yeah, like, I just think the offensive line is at a disadvantage in like almost every play we run. And, you know, and then the offensive line is going to lose some plays, even if you have a good spot. Like, that's just going to happen. Like, you know, it's 5=1, but like Barber and Slaughter are still like, they're grading out pretty well.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they've backslid tremendously this season. I would more say they maybe haven't taken the leap that we hoped they would into being like elite, like nationally elite guys. But again, I think we wouldn't be saying that. If Florida had a good offense, we probably would be saying that about them. And I think the reasons Florida has a poor offense aren't really because of offensive line personnel. Like I think Lane Kiffin would come in and have success with this group of offensive linemen. So,
Rob, teams are not loading the box. They're playing 2 safety high and keeping guys in the secondary. That's just wrong. They are loading the box. There's just 8 players in the box most plays. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. And 2 safeties, everyone's playing a cover 4 shell now. Like,
yeah.
And that would be less if that's what you're saying. But no. Did you guys hear what the announcer said after DJ threw the pick that was meant for VB3? I don't know.
I may have. I'm not sure what you're referring to, though.
Yeah. Billy the Bum recruited 5 guys who can't block. Remember the guy having...
He didn't recruit 2 of them.
Yeah, he didn't recruit Barber. But also, here.
Or Slaughter, right?
One horrific game also doesn't make you a bum. It means you had a bummy game. I mean, Barber is probably going to be our highest taken offensive lineman in this draft.
Yeah. I mean, part of that's also just because of positional value. Like Slaughter is probably going to be the like highest ranked at his position player on this team in the draft. But yeah, like it again. It's I mean, look, I think the other guys. I think you could definitely say that the rest of the offensive line outside of those guys has been pretty disappointing. I think like Bryce Lovett, not where you want him to be. But like, so I mean, the unit as a whole, I would say, has been disappointing. But again. No one, I mean, it's very rare in college football, like that teams have 5 great offensive linemen. Like offensive line issues, you know, especially like last year, a lot of teams that were good did not have great offensive lines. So point being, like, I think you can succeed with these guys, but obviously the staff is not.
So PFF has its ranking of the offensive line grades, that run blocking grade. Where do you think that Florida Gators rank on PFF's run blocking grade as a unit?
Run blocking? I would guess they're probably like top 20, right?
In the SEC.
Oh, in the SEC. I don't know, 5th.
So Missouri's 1. Florida's 2nd in the SEC in PFF run blocking grade.
I'm curious how much of that is just like a success metric. Like, I genuinely don't know how PFF grades that.
No, I just think that's real interesting. Like,
yeah,
go and look. Ball always made guys miss the O line. That is terrible. Again, that's also just not always the O line. Like, if it's 5-on-5, like, and again, they're not perfect. They miss on guys. It's not always on the offensive line. Sometimes,
I mean, obviously, first of all, the last night the offensive line was terrible. Like, just to be clear about that. Like, this is not defending.
But the whole team was terrible last night.
Yeah.
He said that DJ can't blame these throws on missing time. These are just terrible mistakes that any QB would not make that knows how to read. Oh, was that the first one? Was that his first pick? Where he threw in the double coverage where the first guy tipped it?
Yeah, the one where it probably should have been picked by the first guy and then got picked by the second guy off the interception. Off the deflection. Yeah, that was just terrible. I didn't hear that, but like, yeah, that's 100% true. Like, that's just terrible.
JLB, my brother is a Michigan fan, is a Michigan fan for obvious reason because we live close to Michigan, but he would say this is the worst offensive line I've ever seen. If you're talking about specifically from that game last night, it played bad, but it's also kind of just not if you look at the entire season.
I mean, it's like you can look, these things are schematically dependent. Like, look at LSU's offensive line last year. Like, those were 2 NFL tackles, and that offensive line underperformed. And Will Campbell was Will Campbell was still a top 5 pick in the draft. Like, it's not like
4 of the 5 starters were drafted.
Was that? Yeah. So, like, I'm not saying that I think the offensive line has been a tremendous disappointment this year. I'm just telling you the problem is not personnel. Maybe the personnel is not as good as we hoped it would be. Like, maybe the personnel is not what it was sold to us as, but like, I don't think significantly upgrading the personnel would change the problems that are kind of inherent to Florida's offense.
Yeah. If the line blocks like this, because Bog went for 1,000 yards at least. If the O-line blocks like this, he won't get to 1,000. He still had like 60 last night, right? Like
70,
maybe.
Yeah, like 70. It was just inefficient. Like, the yardage total ended up being all right. It was just inefficient.
So he's currently at 747. So we need 250.
Oh no, you're right. He had 64 last night on 17.
So we need 253 yards in our last 3 games. I think it's possible.
It's doable. I think the best bet is that he can just go off Tennessee for like 120. Or I was even maybe saying FSU, but probably likely. Probably more likely Tennessee, actually, now that you say that, because they're not great up front or defensively at all. So
hey, what about the bowl game?
Yeah.
The last running back actually for us to get. Do you know who the last running back to go for 1,000 yards was for the Gators? Didn't we talk about this? We may have. Yeah, we did.
Was it? But I actually don't remember the answer. Would it have been like Kelvin Taylor? Was it?
It was Kelvin Taylor, including the bowl game. Do you remember the last to do it in the regular season, though?
I mean, man, if it was before that, like, no, I genuinely, I can't even tell you.
It was Mike Gisley.
I think it would be. Wow. Yeah. Okay. In 2012.
Yeah.
Man, I forgot about that.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
2012, 2013, something like that. Yeah, he's gonna go off against Tennessee and get the.
Yeah, W. I mean I don't know about that, but I mean, look, they're vulnerable. Like, I think we can score some points on Tennessee. I don't know if we can score enough points to win because they can score points, and if the defense looks like it did last night, I don't think like
Florida. A lot of points.
I don't like Florida in a shootout there, but I do think Florida can score some points on that defense.
This is going to be peak Joey Aguilar because Joey Aguilar against bad defenses is a great quarterback.
Yeah, he goes off. I mean, to be honest, I'm not trying to like take this away from Joey Aguilar. I think he's had a great year for like the guy he is and the situation he walked into. But I think that's kind of just Josh Heupel offenses against bad defenses. Like, when they play bad defenses, it's been the case even with like Joe Milton. Like, they just absolutely cook.
And Nico, I mean, they were putting up 77 on Kent State. Kicking onside kicks against Kent State last year.
Yeah.
And it's like before conference play, Nico was in the Heisman talks.
Yeah.
And then things kind of fell to earth. But Hey, he went to my high school. Talking about Mike Gisley.
Nice.
That's cool.
Nice. Yeah,
But
he's a fun player.
Let's move on with the show a bit. We're going to talk some recruiting here. Now, with Billy Napier fired or new head coach in question, there's not much recruiting to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if Lane is the coach, I think there's going to be some movement. There's going to be some action that happens, some for, some against UF. Maybe some of his players flip to us or other players like ours flipping away. But I think it's notable here that Florida hasn't had a single decommit since Billy Napier's been fired. And it's now been 3 weeks, right? Mm-hmm. So it's been 3 weeks. We haven't had a single decommitment. I know LSU had their first decommitment today from a 4-star linebacker. So I just wanted to kind of come on here, talk a little bit about that, and how much of an emphasis the recruiting world has changed nowadays to where you're 3 months in or 3 weeks in and you still have had to decommit after coach being fired.
Yeah, and not only have you not seen a guy decommit, but you have seen multiple guys kind of reaffirm their commitments.
Yeah.
Do the I committed to a school, not a coach thing. I mean, obviously, a lot of time between now and December. We'll see if that holds. Well, and I think Sam, saying recruits waiting to see if we get Lane, that kind of brings me to what I think is the most interesting thing about the guys not decommitting, which is that it really makes me wonder if we're witnessing kind of for the first time the way this works now. And we might really get to see firsthand because like ultimately guys have agreed to deals and money is finite. And ultimately you get late enough in the game where they've locked in, an amount of money they're happy with. Other schools have kind of filled out their budgets. Like it might not be as simple as coach decommits. I'm just going to go wherever I want now. And I'll be curious to see if that holds true because we could see a situation where Florida's potentially hiring Lane Kiffin or anyone after the early signing period or, after the start of the early signing period, at least. So it'll be really interesting to see if that continues to hold. I think it would tell you a lot of recruiting being much more about the deal you reached with the NIL collective and the school than it is about your relationship with a coach.
Yeah, I think it's interesting what you just brought up. I mean, you look at Stanford, where Andrew Luck's basically the GM now, and they have Frank Wright as their head coach, but he's a head coach like in the NFL terms, like he's coaching the team, like he's not going out and recruiting that much. I doubt Frank Wright's really doing anything. That's kind of a program that's ran by Andrew Luck, and all the commits going there probably running through him and everything like that. But we haven't been in the same situation. We don't have someone necessarily like that. But it really does go to show how with these NIL deals, and that's the state of things right now, most of your commits are coming because you probably offer them the highest contract. You probably have the most on the table. I mean, I know of a couple that is true for, not going to name any names here, but I know one of our top recruits, like he committed to us because we offered him the most. And just because Billy was fired, that offer, if it can get pulled by the new coach. But if it's still on the table right now, and the new coach coming pulls it, then he probably flips. But unless someone else goes up there and finally offers him what we're offering, why would he flip? I mean, if that's the biggest reason he committed in the first place, I mean, unless he just hates the coaching hire, I don't see a reason why it would go against us.
Well, I think the kind of interesting dynamic here that we don't really talk about this a lot and I think it's a little unclear what role this plays at Florida specifically, but like, we don't know what's happening. I mean, I think it's probably fair to assume that like Nick Polk and Jacob LaFrance are not being retained with the new staff, but we don't exactly know what Florida's front office would look like moving forward with Lane or anyone else. You got something to say about that? Or was that just a please?
No words. No comment here.
Yeah. So, no. So I think point being, that's maybe the wild card here is what do not only does Lane or ex new coach want to do, but what do whoever's running Florida's front office, personnel operations in a couple months, what do they want to do now? I'd say you're probably, because it's just the timing, I'd say even if you overhaul that front office, they would probably just honor the guys currently committed and kind of punt on recruiting until 2027, just because there's not enough time to do anything else. So that probably doesn't affect anything with this class, but it's just something that's interesting because like with all the talk about Lane and coaching and who Florida's going to hire, I haven't seen a lot of talk about how Florida's going to build out their front office, which is becoming more and more important to teams being successful.
I also think something about what Billy's done on the recruiting trail is something worth talking about with how he's recruited the state. Now, I'm going to go through our current class, and our top 3 commits are out of state guys. So that's kind of funny, but because like Davian Gross, KJ Ford, and Draylen McCoy. I know Draylen McCoy's come out and said he's staying with Florida.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the guys that's been very adamant about it. I know KJ Ford just visited Texas Tech, which I think with Billy here, that could be one that's interesting. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about him flipping. And Davian Gross, I know is pretty quiet. Like, I don't know what's going to happen there. But once you get past those 3, and again, McCoy has been pretty adamant about staying. We'll see. CJ Bronow from Winter Garden. I know he said he's committed. He's a Gator. Kendall Gerbil from Fort Myers. He said he's a Gator. Justin Williams from Gainesville. Marquez Daniel from Tuskegee, Alabama. I know he has some family relations on the current staff. That's one that could get interesting, but so who knows? And Carson Baker and Hezzy Kent from Southern Georgia. Will Griffin, he's a Gator, no matter the coach if they want him. And then Malik Morris from Lakeland. Caden Hall from Milton. Tyler Chuckham also from South Georgia. CJ Hester from Kakoa, Florida. Chancellor Campbell, St. Petersburg. Janari Carr from Ocala. Kikua Amua from Hawaii. No, I don't expect. I mean, I wasn't expecting him in the class for a while, to be honest either. But Jabari Lucas from Florida and Desmond Green. But most of these guys are fairly local from Florida or Southern Georgia. Like, they're players that are going to have a bit more of a connection with the university than, these kids from Texas. But, like, if I look at Miami's recruiting class, actually, this was kind of something I looked at earlier. Miami got crystal balled for a 3-star defensive lineman out of Delaware. And, top players, a 5-star, who cares where they're from? When you're looking at 3-star defensive linemen, you're building the depth in your class. Should you go out to Delaware for that? Maybe they think this kid's some hidden gem. I don't know.
This was a criticism of Brian Kelly. This was one of the things when I was reading the postmortems of Brian Kelly. It was early on, they were neglecting Louisiana kids to go recruit kind of nationally because that's how they did it at Notre Dame, because that's how Notre Dame recruits. So, I mean, now granted, I'm not saying Miami's not going to still recruit very heavily in Florida and South Florida specifically, but that is a concern. Like, there is a balance there that you want to strike.
But, like, getting to my point, like, we've recruited a lot of, more local kids. And, I mentioned, like, you go out to get the best player. But I'm looking at Miami's top 5 commits. Now, Jackson Cantwell is the best offensive lineman in the country. It doesn't matter where he's from. He's from Missouri. And then they got Samaria Winkers from St. Augustine. 4-star receiver from California. 4-star, what is this? Doesn't say the position. I'm not sure. 4-star safety from Kansas. 4-star tight end from California. Like, if Mario Cristobal were to be fired, like, it's not happening, but if he were to be fired, like, why would these players stay at Miami if you're from California, Kansas, California, or Missouri? Now, if you're still being offered that high contract and no one else comes and gets close, obviously that's a reason why you might stay. But a lot of their players, like from Ohio, like Georgia as well, but like Ohio again, there's not much Miami connection to a lot of these players.
Yeah,
which
and I mean
that's like it's pretty opposite of what we were doing.
No, and that's something that's a little concerning, like, even if you don't fire Mario, just because in general, like, how many times have we seen cases where, like, big-time recruit commits and signs with a school across the country, doesn't really play, redshirts year 1, and then hits the portal and comes back to a bigger program closer to wherever they're from? Like, we see that happen quite a bit. So it's just something you kind of open yourself up to. I mean, I think looking at Florida's class, like, I think another thing that you didn't really mention, like, talking about going down the list, like beyond the top few guys, which a lot of them have either affirmed their commitment to Florida or are just local guys that seem, you seem like guys you could pretty easily retain. You start getting to a point too, where it's like, and this isn't to like say these guys are not good prospects, but like, once you start talking about guys that are like outside the top 200 in the rankings, those aren't necessarily guys where big spending top programs are like hovering like vultures trying to come in and steal them. Like a lot of times those are your evals. Those are guys that you've decided you want and have, built a relationship with. It's not like, you've got a Georgia or Ohio State, breathing down your neck trying to steal them. So I think that's another sort of dynamic at play here.
And yeah, one thing I also will say with our top two recruits being from Texas, and Lagway's also from Texas. We recruit Texas pretty well, comparatively to the rest of our Florida history. One Safford, I hope we can entertain Joe Hamilton. He's from Texas. Like, he's our big Texas recruiter out there. Like, we aren't just going to Texas and randomly finding these guys. Like, these are Joe Hamilton guys. Without Joe Hamilton, these guys would not be committed to Florida. Specifically KJ Ford. So it's like there is a connection there, and if the new staff can retain Joe Hamilton, like that would be a phenomenal from them. But like Florida, the way we recruit, we're not recruiting at an elite level, and I know during the offseason the hope was, hey, finally break out this year where you get more money, where you get more trust from recruits, that you can maybe break into another echelon like we did last offseason with the smaller sample size of breaking into the top. But yeah, we're recruiting pretty well from local players. And we're not talking about the Florida Miami jobs comparatively right now, but once you said outside the top 200, like it's not as much recruiting based on NIL value, more of locality or maybe being local, or maybe a specific coach, or all of these different kids have more value. But that's where Florida really has a big advantage, is those lower 4-star guys. They're from Florida. They're from South Georgia. Like, Florida's the bigger brand. They'd want to come for Florida. Like, that's where Florida really has a big advantage over Ole Miss.
Yeah. And I think, you talk about, like, is the recruiting where we want it to be? Not necessarily, but it could end up proving to be like a pretty good thing because obviously if this class had multiple like 5 stars, they'd be getting a million calls a day, since Billy got fired. But if you can retain at least the bulk of these guys, keep them as the foundation moving forward, that's really key, especially because we'll see how the timing ends up working out, but you could be hiring a coach after the portal. Like, you might be punting on portal acquisitions this offseason. Again, we'll see how that all plays out. But point being,
I don't think so. Portal isn't open until January.
Yeah, and if Lane Kiffin's coaching in January,
I wouldn't expect him to be coaching past the first day of January.
Why? Like, I think it's wide open enough that I'm not like saying that's not happening. I think you have to have a contingency plan for that, because it's you have to either have a contingency plan or have a line in the sand and say, we're not going to hire Lane Kiffin if it requires it being announced after January 2nd or whatever. But, that's its own deal. But point being, I think you have to be prepared for the possibility of that.
And I was just looking. So in 2022, our recruiting class was ranked 19th. But that's also not many good transfers. Cam Waits, Jack Miller, Jalen Kimber ended up wasn't even ranked here on 3's transfer rankings. Ricky Pearsall was the 124th. Like, Ricky Pearsall ended up being a phenomenal player, but as a transfer ranking, like, wasn't that good. Montrell Johnson was top 100, just inside 77. Coming with him from Louisiana. And Osiris Torrance was obviously elite. So outside of really those top 3 transfers, we got nothing. Whoever our new coach is, if they can find a way to still get like a 19th ranked class plus transfers, that's still doing better than what Billy did.
Yeah. Well, I think Billy also just needed to take more volume, because, like, to be honest, transfer rankings, in my opinion, are kind of farcical.
I agree. Yeah.
That's not to say, obviously you want guys who have a track record, who have proven experience, but like, if you go, it's a very funny exercise to, like, 2 months into a season, go back and look at like what On3's transfer rankings looked like, because who's the highest rated transfer of the Billy Napier era? It's Joey Slackman, right?
It's technically Cormani.
Oh, true. Maybe even Osiris, but yeah, it's probably point.
Yeah, okay, Osiris was ranked. I have here on 3's ranking was 12.
Okay, point being, Slackman's like a top 3 highest ranked transfer edition of the Napier era, and he barely played. So I think this isn't to say like it's all fake. It doesn't matter, but I'm just saying like look at the production, look at the tape, look at the experience. Don't be like, oh, this guy's only ranked 103rd in On3's ranking. Like I think that's
Yeah. I mean, okay, there's also a little bit with like Jason Zandamela technically being a transfer.
Okay. See, but then
So
I don't like that though, because then the transfer
36.
ranking is just identical to their high school rating. Because you'll see guys ratings as a transfer go up or down from their high school, but like Zandamela was just being viewed as the 4-star he was, which that's cool, but it doesn't like you're taking a gamble on a high school player that ideally you're not taking on portal players. That's kind of the whole idea.
Yeah, according to On3, he was our second best transfer behind Osiris Torrance.
Okay.
If you do, or Cormani. So yeah, like didn't take enough volume there, and again the rankings like George Gunn, like we've had better players come out from lower transfer rankings, but definitely need to take more volume, which is one thing Kiffin would 100% do, especially that first year.
I do think, yeah, he would definitely do it in year one. I do think it's a little overstated how much he would do that here. Like, I think part of the reason he does that at Ole Miss is because Ole Miss is still not in a position to recruit at the highest level. Now, granted, I think Lane likes transfers more than recruiting. Like, I think Lane sees the like, why would I recruit a high school kid when I could just go get a guy who's proven to me that he can do it? I think there is an element of that, but I also think you would see him build things a little bit differently if he could have a more consistent shot with 5 stars that aren't like 5 stars from the state of Mississippi. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mr. MTG, y'all gonna be sad when Lane tells us to kick rocks.
I mean, yeah, I would be if that happens. It seems to me like it's probably still at least slightly more likely than not that he comes. That just seems to be the vibes that I'm getting. I don't really have inside info on this or anything, so don't quote me on it. But I mean, yeah, I think the options after Lane get significantly less home runish for sure.
I definitely still feel confident as of now. Again, like anything can happen, but
I'd say we got to get through this weekend because it would be so perfect for them to announce an extension on like Friday. Like I could so easily see that happening.
Yeah, and let's end this segment here, but with our recruiting talk. But yeah, I'm not going to worry too much about recruiting because when we hire our new coach, it's going to be after signing day or early signing day. You know, there will be another cycle. We'll see who doesn't sign in. I do wonder because there's been a lot of coach firings, and there's still going to be more to come. Do less players sign on early signing day this year? Because
I don't know.
Over the last 5 years now, it's like 75. So now it feels like it's like 90% of recruits are signing by the earlier signing period. But now that coaches are, there's the 12-team playoff, coaches might be hiring from the NFL. Like, there's going to be more of a long-term, like, okay, you're offering me more right now, but if, their team's still pretty close and I want to see who you hire. If you hire someone I don't like, I'll take a little bit less money to go play for that coach. So I wonder if you will see a bit more.
Does February signing day still exist? Have they gotten rid of that? Like I'm genuinely I struggle to keep up with all the calendar changes.
I don't necessarily think the signing day, to be exact, is what matters because players can just enroll when
That's a good point. Yeah, we've decided it doesn't matter, and there's no such thing as letters of intent anymore. So.
I mean, let's look at Xavier Lucas.
Yeah, that's a good. No, that's a
because you don't even sign a letter of intent. You sign. What is it you sign?
It's I don't remember. I couldn't even tell you the name for it. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't even tell you the name for it because it's so pointless. Like, it is the most meaningless document of all time. There's nothing binding about it. So you might as well not be signing anything.
You're just signing an aid agreement, I think.
Oh yeah, that's what. Yeah, literally, is just a financial aid agreement, which again is not binding in any way.
Just look at Dallas Wilson.
Yeah. And we've decided that doesn't matter. And also we've decided, again, in the case of Xavier Lucas, like you said, we've decided we decided you don't even have to enter the transfer portal. You can unenroll and re-enroll. And the NCAA basically was like, yeah, there's really nothing we can do to stop that.
Yeah. But for the rest of the season, or after the season, I have a fearing suspicion our recruiting updates are going to be a lot more transfer heavy than what they ever were during the Billy Napier tenure.
Certainly will be if it's
getting some big comments here. We got Michael. Florida is a bigger ceiling. Florida has a bigger ceiling. He knows that. A lot of ties to Florida. I do agree there. Why were there questions? Okay, I see. What did Lane tweet about the UF Kentucky game? So he retweeted the on-3 post of Lagway being benched. Again, this doesn't mean anything, guys.
Yeah, he also retweeted some quote about like
he does this every day,
passing up opportunities because you don't have to clean up someone else's mess. Like he's trolling everyone. I'm not even sure he knows who he's trolling right now.
That's exactly it. I mean, I've done the same thing, you know. And, like this isn't something he's doing where he has some deliberate scheme in his mind. He's just thinking, okay, this is funny. Let me do that. Like there's no specific thing in his mind on why he's doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's because again, if he comes, all of this Ole Miss posting has been trolling their fans. If he doesn't, all the teasing has been trolling us. So he's just trolling. I mean, it is what it like. This is the Lane Kiffin. Like, I mean, everyone seems to want Lane Kiffin. This is the Lane Kiffin experience. This is what we're signing up for. He'll probably do this to us about the NFL at some point if he comes. He'll probably do this exact same thing to us about NFL jobs. So like that, it just is what it is.
Yeah, Michael Dixon announcement will be in December. That's the thing. That's why I'm not too worried. That's why I think recruiting is going to be something real interesting because and the transfer portal, as you mentioned, like we're not going to be sitting here if we're still waiting. If Lane's still coaching the playoffs, if we're still waiting for a head coach, like we know it's going to be Lane. Or there is one other name that could
which is why I think they'd announce it and just deal with the awkwardness.
And I'll even say they have a bye week this after our game. If he doesn't sign an extension during their bye week, I'll say like there's a chance we know during this bye week if he's going to stay or if he's going.
Mm-hmm.
That's a rumor floating around right there. Yeah, this is possible. We'll get into our predictions in a second. Lane would have benched Lagway as well. I mean,
probably.
Who knows how Lagway is playing under Lane?
Yeah, I mean, if Lagway was performing like this under Lane, I don't think he would have made it this far into the season. But.
Yeah. Show these boys some love and hit the like button. Yeah, make sure you do hit the like button.
Appreciate it, Rob.
Comment. You know, the comment section is pretty active right now. We're getting to a point to where whether it's Lane or not, it's going to be exciting news to talk about. Whether we're buying into a new coach or, I mean, if it is Lane, there's going to be a lot of fun to talk about for the upcoming season. And, Jed Fish will probably be Florida's new coach.
I think that ship probably sailed last night.
You can't lose to Wisconsin.
You can't lose to Wisconsin.
And
wait, did you see? Sorry, I have to add. You can't lose to Wisconsin with their leading passer being a.
Was it the punter?
Or sorry, I think he was listed as I saw it listed as place kicker, but I think he probably was their actual punter.
Yeah. And address this real quick. From Pete, pathetic begging. What has this program become? Ole Miss is as good of a job as Florida now, and LSU is better. We both have put LSU one spot ahead of Florida, so technically yes, but I think Lane prefers the Florida job just to kick that out the window there. But also,
sorry.
Ole Miss just isn't as good of a job as Florida now.
It's closer. It's closer than it's ever been. No doubt.
Yeah.
Also, though, I just want to address the first part of that, the pathetic begging. What do you think this is? What do you think coach hirings are? Coach hirings are, please, sir, we'll give you all the money that our state has to offer for you to come save our football. Like, that's what this is, man. Like, that's the business.
Yeah. Sam. Oh, wait. Meant Chris right here. Jed Fish. Oh, wait, no. Sam. Rather have Franklin or Drink. So, I don't think it's going to be Drink. I know betting odds have been like Drink either 1 or 2 with him or Kiffin. If I could bet that it's not Drink
out of the job,
I don't think that's the case. I think the administration doesn't want Drink. I know Scott Strickland likes Drink, but the boosters and other members of the administration and a lot of fans do not like drink.
Yeah, it'd be approaching coup territory with drink, which I think is a little bit unfair. I'm a little less anti-drink than a lot of other people in the fan base are, but doesn't change the fact that most of them are anti-drink. So it'd be a tough sell.
And I don't want James Franklin. You just can't go James Franklin.
It's tough optics. Also, I think he would probably do well, but the optics of it are tough.
Yeah, I think he had a really good year one considering our schedule, but like, I wouldn't expect him to win at a high level. Like, it would be more stability winning wise here. Yeah. But let's talk about our predictions. Week 11 of college football is a pretty interesting week. I'm slowly but surely, catching up. I didn't have a great ground. So this past week I went 6-2, while Natuno went 4-4.
Okay.
So there was a 7-game difference. Now it's to 5 games with 3 weeks left. If I have a +2 every week, I win. So that's I'm catching up closer and closer every single week now. But looking at our game picks from last week, we both picked Memphis to beat Tulane. I remember I was this close to picking Tulane, but I was like, nah.
Yeah.
Too much.
I was way off on that one. I was all in on Memphis winning that game.
Yeah. We both picked Texas Tech. They blew them out.
Mm-hmm.
Both picked A&M. Blew them out. We both picked Oregon. That was close.
Yeah, that was tough.
We both picked Vandy. They overtime win against Auburn. Mm-hmm. And here's where it starts getting different. Wake Forest, Virginia. I picked Wake Forest as my upset pick, and the Demon Deacons did it for me. They stopped with Virginia and inside their own 10 on 4th and 3 to win that game. And I like an underdog story, but like Virginia was never that good of a team.
No,
and I kind of just needed them to be project.
You kind of could see this coming. I will add, I didn't make that pick with the knowledge that Chandler Morris would exit early in the game and not return. So I'll just put that out into the world.
And then we both picked Florida. That was wrong. So I got my 2 losses were Memphis and Florida. And then I got it right. You got it wrong. I picked Clemson. You picked FSU.
Did I?
You did pick FSU.
I guess I did.
You were saying it's like, FSU got the big win against Wake Forest.
You're right. No, you're right. I did do that.
There's some momentum there.
That was a Sunday overreaction on my part, but I did do that.
And Alpha Gator is starting to feel like it's not late. You're just upset from the loss, man. That Kentucky game doesn't affect if Lane's coming here.
I'll just say, it's not starting to feel like they've done a good job. They're not leaking anything. Like they're keeping this under wraps. Like, I know it's hard, but you just got to chill, and in a few weeks you'll have an answer. But I don't think things are changing by the day, like the dynamic.
I just know trusting people are saying they feel good about Lane. They're not saying why. If the why was getting released, that's when it's like, okay, it's getting leaked and interesting things would have happen. But I'll say people feel confident, but the why is not being released. Is it better if we beat or lose? Beat?
Definitely better. Definitely better.
Yeah. I don't maybe it increases the odds a little bit by technicality, but
it doesn't matter. It just makes the timing easier because if we beat them, first of all, they're probably going on the road in the first round of the playoff. So it's just going to be tougher. Second of all, if we beat them,
they go to Starkville.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's second of all, they have to go win the Egg Bowl against a feisty Mississippi State team to make it to the playoff. And who knows what will happen there. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's like the end all be all, but it 100% is in Florida's best interest as far as Lane Kiffin goes to win that game.
I mean, especially if they miss the playoffs, you can get them to sign before signing period as well. That could be a very interesting thing.
Well, I mean, if they lose that game and miss the playoff, you can announce it on Sunday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's get into our picks here for this week. Week 12 of the college football season. We'll start off on Friday. Clemson going to Louisville on a Friday night. I think that's an interesting game. I mean, did you see the Clemson lost to Duke last week, obviously. Did you see the Parker Fleming EPA, win expectancy, and it's and it ranks on how badly you were beaten?
I know what you're talking about, but I didn't see it for that game.
So for the Clemson-Duke game, if Clemson were to win, even by 1 point, they would have had the 5th best win expectancy in the country for that week. So if they won, they would have been top 5, like, most dominating wins by expectancy.
That's crazy.
And they lost. I mean, that's just absolutely insane. And then they beat FSU. Louisville coming off a rough loss to, who did they just lose to last night?
Cal.
Was it Virginia?
Cal.
It was Cal. That's right. In OT, Cal went for 2 and got it. I'm glad to see that pay off. Clemson at Louisville. Is Clemson like? I think they're a bit better than what some kind of may think. If they win this game, they're 100% making a bowl game. Like Louisville. Isaac Brown was hurt in that Cal game, if I'm not mistaken.
He's hurt he's out for the extended future.
Give me Clemson.
Yeah, man, that's where my gut is at a little bit, because not having Isaac Brown and the way that went last night. But Clemson, I mean, when they've played teams that are actually like better teams than them, more well coached than them, it hasn't gone their way. Where is this game?
It's in Louisville.
Yeah, I'll take Louisville. I'll go against you there. I'll take Louisville. I think Clemson still has a ton of issues. I mean, that was a not convincing home win over FSU last night.
All right, fair enough. Alpha Gator, Lincoln Riley agent is Trace Armstrong, Gator legend and Gainesville resident. So that's also Lane Kiffin's. I mean, Armstrong works under Sexton.
Wait,
if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think Armstrong works for CAA. Are you sure? I'm not 100%. I thought Armstrong did his own thing. I could be wrong. This is great radio, but no, he's Athletes First. Yeah, he's with Athletes First. So he's a different agency. Yeah, he's the one that reps Brian Kelly.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, stop the point. I mean, I know Lincoln right there. I know Josh Pate on Bustin' with the Boys show last Wednesday revealed that he said he's a bombshell to drop for the college football coaching world, and he said Lincoln Riley left it there. I've been hearing Lincoln Riley's name for a little bit now. It's been a while.
Me too.
About like if we miss on Lane, it's like high offensive guy who has won at a high level before. So it's like if we do, he came out and said after their game something about staying. Like that kind of, it's like, oh, he's not leaving. I don't think you can trust what Lincoln Riley says.
No, Lincoln Riley's done this like 5 times. What are we?
Yeah. So I don't think you can trust him there, but yeah. All right.
I would say, I was just gonna say, like, I think that. What am I?
No, go ahead.
Sorry, I think that. I was going to say that I think that like that could end up being a bit of a dark horse if Lane says no, especially because I think when you start looking at the backup options, not only are they kind of hurting their own cases at this point, but I think also we could just be trending towards Key and Drink staying at their, like, just choosing to stay.
Drink wants out of Missouri. If he gets a better job offered, he'll leave. That's a fact.
I mean, I don't doubt that. I feel like the Florida thing's not happening with Drink, and I don't think he wants to leave. So that's kind of where I'm at. That's what
I think. If Penn State offers him, he'll go to Penn State.
He might.
I'm pretty confident though. I think Auburn is where it gets interesting for Drink. Like, would he leave for Auburn? Is the question I'm asking.
I don't think you necessarily should. But
yeah, I'm pretty similar. I actually ranked SEC jobs last night, and I think I had Missouri 1 spot below Auburn. Or no, I had him 2 spots below Auburn. So is that something you want to rebuild, or do you just want to wait and get a bit better?
Yeah.
It's only $2 million.
Wait. Really? That's it?
Lincoln Riley has a really small buyout.
Yeah, I mean, his buyout, obviously they fire him, is insane. I didn't know his buyout to leave was that small. That's actually interesting.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to predicting some games here. Go to noon. Notre Dame at Pittsburgh, which is getting college game day.
Yeah.
Mason Heitzel, undefeated as a QB for Pitt. even if they lose this game, they can still win the ACC. This has no impact on the ACC record. I think Notre Dame needs to make a statement here. I mean, they're a lock if they win out at this point, but they kind of need to make a statement, and I think they do. I like Pitt. You know, Narduzzi's a great coach. Cade Bell, offensive coordinator, is a great offensive coordinator. Sorry, but I think Notre Dame needs to make a statement here and on a primetime spot, and I think they do. Did you see the Jeremiah Love touchdown run he had against Navy last night?
No, I actually didn't.
Oh my God. They have him, two defensive tacklers have him tackled. They're bringing him down. He lands on one of them, and he lands on, doesn't hit the ground. He's able to stand up while they're still grabbing him and just run it in for like a 50-yard touchdown. Like, he was tackled for like a 2-yard loss, but lands on one of the players, and it's not like one of those things where everyone stops playing. Like, he knew immediately that he didn't hit the ground, and everyone was still going basically at high motion and was able to score. It was electric. I'm going Notre Dame.
Yeah, I am too. Like, I think Pitt's good, and I think they still have to play Georgia Tech and Miami. I think they get one of those at least. I don't think they get this one though. I don't think they're quite there. I think Notre Dame's really good. I think Notre Dame is kind of doing the Notre Dame thing, and they're going to roll into the playoff probably, and they're going to be a team I wouldn't necessarily really want to play.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the number here. I'm not sure where it is. I just know it's $2 million.
I haven't heard that, but that is definitely his buyout to if he's fired.
This is if he's fired.
Yeah, it's definitely not $80 million if he leaves of his own accord.
Yeah. All right. We both went Notre Dame there. Okay, this is I'd rather Kerwin Bell. No.
Guys, it's not happening. Okay, I know we need to move on, but I just want to say I saw Kerwin Bell on a list pop up of names to watch from the lower levels this year. I'm interested to see if he does actually make the jump to the FBS this offseason. It won't be at Florida, but I'm curious to see if it does happen.
Yeah, I'll say like his records have been pretty mediocre, but he does have offense, which is something that Cliff Kingsbury was literally basically 6-6 every year at Texas Tech. But because he had fun offenses and Patrick Mahomes, like, people fantasize about him like he was some 10-win coach at Texas Tech. All right. I guess let's move on. Next game we'll predict is number 12, Oklahoma at Alabama. Back-to-back ABC games here. Alabama struggled a little bit. Who did they play? LSU. Yeah, I know. Were the refs really that bad in this? I didn't watch much of this game. Did you?
I didn't watch a ton of it. I had it in the quad, but I was paying more attention to Florida for some reason. I don't know why I was. But...
Yeah, that's fair. But I know people are saying the refs were heavily in Alabama's favor. I don't know. It was also an LSU fan saying that, and a Georgia fan, who they always gang up on me, so they would say that. But Bama struggled a bit. Oklahoma's defense is really good. Alabama doesn't have a good run game. Like, that's kind of the one thing about Alabama that's holding me back from being fully sold on. They don't have a run game. I like Ty Simpson, and he's really good under pressure. But is he really good under Oklahoma's pressure?
I agree. I think this is a tough one. Also, they can't stop the run very well either. And Oklahoma has something of a
they found some explosive plays. They found some explosive plays.
And they've got a running back. I'm blanking on the guy's name, Xavier or something, but he emerged in the Tennessee game. They hadn't been able to run the ball much outside of Mateer, but he had a really good game against Tennessee.
No, was it Blake? Oh, yeah. Xavier Robinson, the sophomore.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
He's averaging. Oh, what is my app doing here? Yeah, averaging 6.4 yards per carry. And Blaylock, their other running back, who is also been playing. He's been playing well. He's been playing better. So maybe they're finding something. It's at Bama though, and I do think there's a level. I do think the top three of the SEC has separated itself.
I agree.
So I'm going to take Bama.
I'm also taking Bama, but this is, to me, like, this feels like the Oregon-Iowa game last week where it's like, I took Oregon, but I was like, this is danger zone potentially. Like, they need to tread carefully.
If it was at Oklahoma, I think it would be a bit more interesting.
Beamer's not getting fired this year, Sam. Maybe pressure going into next year, but no.
Yeah, no. All right, next game we'll pick here because it's going to be I assume Virginia is not going to be ranked come Tuesday. Virginia at Duke. Duke lost to UConn, still the favorite in the ACC, though.
Yeah. That's the funniest part. It just didn't matter. Just didn't matter at all that they lost to UConn.
Yeah, this is still a big-time ACC matchup for their standings. Who does Miami? Miami probably needs Duke to lose. I don't know. I'm taking Duke, though. I think Duke... I mean, UConn's, like, sneaky good. Like, it's not like UConn's a horrible team. I think they're, like, 8-1. Their QB, I think, is, like, a 30... Has no picks on the season. Joe Fagono, like, he's actually a pretty dang good QB. Like, it's not as bad of a loss as you would think it is for it being UConn. Like, not a good loss, but considering they're the favorites to win the... they were the favorites. Now they're second in the odds to win the ACC. But, yeah, I think Virginia's going to tumble, so give me Duke.
Yeah, I agree here too. I think Duke is just the better team all around right now. And also, just from doing a quick cursory search, looks like potential concussion concerns with Chandler Morris. So I don't know. He got a hit to the head and didn't come back. They haven't said concussion, but if it is concussion, I'd say probably unlikely he plays in this game. And I do not like Virginia with a backup again after what happened yesterday.
Who was the backup?
Great question. Don't even know his name off the top of my head. He was number 10. That's all I got for you.
QB 10 for Virginia.
Daniel Kalen. Daniel Kalen.
Never heard of him, honestly. But all right. Both taking Duke there. Next game we'll pick also at 3:30. You got 3 good games on at 3:30. And NC State at Miami. If that game was at NC State, we'd be picking that one. Yeah. I mean, Miami isn't that great at home either. I mean, they don't have a home field advantage, but I don't think I'm going to pick Miami to lose at home to NC State. I don't think you are either.
No, NC State's offense is good enough that I think there's a universe where it happens, but I think Miami just in the trenches is probably going to take care of business here, even though I think their offense is terrible and I don't trust Carson Beck at all right now.
Yeah, hey, Sam. NC State for the upset. All right, next game we're going to pick so Iowa won't be number 20 come Tuesday. Number 19 USC, they'll probably move a spot or two just by virtue of other teams losing ahead of them, I assume. This game's at USC. If it was at Iowa, I'd be picking Iowa 100%. But be at USC. When I'm thinking of this matchup, I'm thinking of USC's defense against Iowa's offense. And how many points can Iowa score in this game?
I think several.
Could they hit 30?
Yeah, I think they probably can.
I don't think they can hit 30. I think they can hit 24. Do I think USC gets held below 24? I think USC gets 27. I'm going to say 27-24 USC.
I do this all the time. I always pick the road team in these cross-country games, and I always fall for this trap. But look, I think Iowa we saw their tough out. I think they can score on this team. I like Iowa. Give me Iowa in this game.
All right. Hey, I mean, their best win is still Minnesota.
What's USC's best win?
Illinois? No, they lost to Illinois. Michigan. USC dominated Michigan. Hey, USC has a good history against physical, non-elite throwing teams. So our picks are locked in.
But Mark Gronowski is better than Bryce Underwood. That's what you're not taking into account. And I'm not trolling. He is. I wouldn't take him long term. He is right now.
Next game, we're picking Tennessee hosting New Mexico State. No. Yeah. Why are they playing New Mexico State now? Kind of like what we mentioned last week with Ole Miss hosting the Citadel. Yeah. Why are back-to-back opponents getting bye games before playing us?
That is obnoxious.
I mean, who's Florida State play before they play us?
Probably just a bad team.
No, they go to NC State.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Oh, yeah. Actually, I looked it up. They don't have another. They don't have another gimme game
because they played 2 of them. Because they played both. Yeah. Was it Alabama A&M and Kent State? I think
something like that. Yeah.
That's right. That was from memory. Shout out me.
Yeah.
All right. Next game we'll predict. We'll get to Florida Ole Miss later. Purdue Washington. Yikes. Also, something I want to point out. Did you see? So Ari Wasserman posted the first quarter of the Georgia Mississippi State game. Mississippi State was up 7-0, and he posted like, "Oh, SEC, something about the SEC struggling in these type of games like Georgia," and it was like I think in response to like Indiana struggling against Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State was down in the first quarter to Purdue, and nothing was mentioned of it.
Didn't that end up being like 34-3 or something?
It ended up being a blowout, but so did Georgia, Mississippi State. Yeah. My point was, the first quarter he posted about Georgia. Yeah, Mississippi State's a better team than Purdue.
That's silly. I mean, Mississippi State's played everyone pretty tough.
Yeah. All right, but next game we're predicting Texas at Georgia. That's why I was bringing it up because I saw Mississippi State and Georgia pretty close to each other. Is Texas getting better?
I think they're a little bit. I think we're going to find out how much better because this Georgia defense is vulnerable. And if their offense is actually taking steps forward, I think we'll see that.
Yeah, I think that's a valid, it's a valid point to take right there. Arch is playing a bit better. Offensive line, run game, a bit better. Sark scheming his guys to get open. I don't think so. I think there is an unrealistic expectation for what Vandy is. I think LSU drove down an offense looked pretty solid against Vandy, a bit more than what you would hope for how bad that LSU offense is. And Missouri, Missouri's offense one-dimensional plus the QB getting hurt late in the third quarter of that game. I don't think Missouri's offense is all that great. It's just Ahmad Hardy run. I think it might be close, but I'm going to take Georgia.
Yeah, I think it's really simple. I don't think Texas has it in the trenches. This team just does not have it in the trenches. I mean, they got dominated by Florida in that regard. And I mean, I don't think Georgia is as good in the trenches as they've been under Kirby Smart, but I think they're good enough to win this game. I mean, we saw, I think we saw last year too, Georgia just matches up decently well against the state of this Texas program. So yeah, I'll go Georgia as well.
Yeah. All right. Last game we're going to predict, Mississippi State at Missouri. Matt Zollers.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that was an impossible first game starting.
That's true. That's true. I know. I saw multiple people on social media hyping up Matt Zollers because he went 6 of 7 against Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
For some yards on that last drive or last couple of drives. I don't think Vandy's defense is all that great, kind of reflecting my pick to Georgia beating Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Vandy was playing just don't give him a touchdown. Like they were giving him easier stuff to hit. I think Mississippi State wins this game. At Missouri, too. So
I like that. I like that pick. I like that pick a lot, and that's probably where my gut is too. But I have a feeling Missouri might just win this game and be able to run on them because I mean Ahmad Hardy's very, very good. So just for the sake of differentiating, because we've had a lot of similar picks, I'll go Missouri to get it done at home.
All right, fair enough. Okay, that'll be that for that segment. JLB, I just hope our shutout streak doesn't end, guys. Billy already broke one long streak. What streak did he break?
I don't know. Because the Kentucky streak ended against ended under Dan. Yeah. I mean, there's been a million bad streaks. I mean, depending on what you want to call a streak. But yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of bad historical stats with Billy, but I'm not sure what streak you're talking about.
Yeah. Sam, Mississippi State gets the win. Missouri back up is not it. Yeah, I don't think Missouri is it either. The home winning streak to start a season. Oh, I guess going to the Miami game.
Did we? Oh, yeah, I guess. I mean, that's also partially just a function. That's also just a function of the way Florida is scheduled for 20, 30 years. Like they almost always play like a directional school at home. So it's like, that to me is that would have ended a long time ago if Florida was scheduling more competitive week 1 games. It's what it is.
Evan, we'll be back to preview and predict the Florida Ole Miss game right after this quick break.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
Welcome back to Florida Gators Live. We'll address some comments here before we get into our Ole Miss prediction and preview. Winning your open game, as we said, losing to a Florida team's not named FSU or Miami at home for the first time since 1938.
I mean, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. No doubt about it.
Yeah, that one too, Sam, indeed. But it's time. Florida versus Ole Miss preview and predictions. As I named the title of this stream, the Lane Kiffin Bowl. Mm-hmm. Now, this isn't necessarily WWE UFC fighting style to where winner gets Lane Kiffin. Sometimes the loser also wins in the sometimes the loser may win the battle, but they win the war. And that's kind of what we're hoping for in this scenario.
It's probably a good thing for Florida that it's not winner gets Lane Kiffin.
No, not at all. I'll let you start here. What do you think about this matchup?
I think it's. I mean, look. I think we all are adults here. It's going to be really hard. I mean, I think it's hard for me to. Obviously, it all really boils down to is what you saw from the defense last night. What you're going to see from here on out. Because if it is, this one is over before you get off the bus. Like, frankly, you know, Ole Miss between Kawan Lacey and I mean, just the pass, they've got, you know, multiple really good receivers. Trinidad Chambliss playing well. Like, if the defense looks like it did, they're going to score basically at will in this game. And I think, I mean, it's like their defense has some vulnerabilities. Like, they're not great against the run. Can Florida run on them? I mean, they couldn't run on Kentucky very well. If, you know, is the offensive line just going to get bullied up front again? Like there's a path here to Florida making this game competitive. It's just like with everything that you've seen, especially what you saw yesterday, I don't really enter this game with any reason beyond hope to feel good at all.
Hey, did you realize that we lost by 30 last night to Kentucky? By 31, actually. Get your facts straight there. The worst team in the SEC. Not to get too far off track here. Is Kentucky the worst team in the SEC right now?
Well,
I think
we might. I mean,
Arkansas?
We might be the worst. It's us or Arkansas, frankly,
or Auburn.
Or Auburn,
they lost at home to Kentucky. As well.
I mean, I'd give Mississippi State the edge over us right now. I know we beat them, but like it was in the swamp and they should have won probably. So.
Yeah. Sam giving his predictions right out the window. 24-21 Florida. I like your confidence there, Sam. We just need to copy what Washington State did against Ole Miss to make that a competitive game.
We got to copy the Wazoo game plan on that one.
I mean, Wazoo, they lost to Oregon State. He also lost to Sam Houston State somehow. Yeah. That was just horrific. But yeah, I think there's a path here that involves us having to actually give a crap about this game. If we don't, then the game's over from the kickoff. So let's discuss a bit if Florida comes out there and shows that they're playing for something. If they're playing to win this game, let's try to break it down a little bit like that. Because if we're looking at it like that, I like our defense, I like our offense a little bit against the defense because this Ole Miss defense has some good players on it. I think they have some solid safeties. I don't know how to pronounce his name at safety, a transfer from Washington State, actually, ironically. He actually played pretty dang well this year. And I think they have a couple. I think Will Eccles, their defensive tackle, I want to say. I hope if we get Lane, I hope he's someone who transfers over here. I think he's a really good player on the interior of that D line. But once you get past and Sustertain Perkins out the edge is a good player. Yeah. Centurion Perkins. I don't think he's as elite as some we may have thought before the season. Like I don't think he's their best player on their defense, but still is an athletic 5-star guy. Like still good players. But once you get away from those three, and then they have another solid safety, and Antonio Kite's a solid corner. Like they have a couple other solid players, but I don't think their defense really gels together that well. I think they have a couple good players who can make plays, but I don't think their defense really gels that well together. And you mentioned the Oklahoma game where they started finding a run game against Ole Miss. Could that be something we're able to do? I think our line's better when it's trying than Oklahoma. I mean, it is better than Oklahoma's when it's trying. Don't think that's really much of a question there. It's more of a fact. But if we're giving 100% our all, I think Jaden Ball could run for over 100 yards in this game. I don't think that's crazy to say.
No, I don't either. I mean, you can't get a repeat out of that performance from the offensive line yesterday because, I mean, I don't think Ole Miss defensive front is super terrifying, but I don't think Kentucky's was either, and you just got straight up bullied. So can't have that happen again. My problem here is I don't think a 100-yard game from Baugh is enough to win this game.
That's a good point.
You're going to have to, it's going to take some plays from the court. Like the run game is the prerequisite to keeping this competitive, but it's going to take, whether it's DJ, whether it's Trammell, whatever, they're going to have to figure something out in the passing game.
And I was going to mention here, Antonio Kite's been a pretty good corner, but Chris Graves, Jalen Braxton, their other corners have been a pretty solid weakness on this defense. I think that's something we could take advantage of if we're able to hit those pass plays. And we've seen Lagway hit plays. Lagway had a really good game against Texas, which is an actually really good defense. It's kind of weird that was our one offensive breakout game. And if we're able to replicate doing something like that for this game, I think we could score a pretty good amount of points here. If we really are able to replicate what we did against Texas and have the game plan, if everyone's given their full all, I could see our offense. As I mentioned, if we're breaking this down as if we're fully trying, what do you think is the maximum of points we could score?
Probably realistically, probably still 28.
Really? You think if it's going as it was against Texas, you think our max is 28?
Kind of. I mean, maybe a little bit more. I mean, I don't think we're dropping 40 on these guys.
No, I was thinking maybe 34.
I mean, maybe you get another touchdown somewhere. I think that's possible. Man, it's just really hard for me to erase what I saw last night. I know we're trying to do the thought exercise of what if you get it, what if you get the effort, but it's man, that's just going to take a gear from this offense that I'm afraid they've lost with the way DJ's at. But I mean, because it's not even effort. It is it's effort if you're going to run the ball, but DJ just has to be better than he's been at times.
I was wondering if this was about if you didn't hear us explain, we are talking if we're actually giving effort out there, if we're trying to win this game. JLB, the Ole Miss game is at night. Yes, this is a night game in Vaught. I was about to say, when's the last time Ole Miss lost a game in Vaught? But last year, Kentucky, of course, they lost. But maybe it being on the road also neutralizes. I say 34. Maybe it being on the road, 3 points you lose, maybe 7 even. I guess to 26 or 27. Yeah. So 28, like you said. I think if the offense does hit its gear, I think they could hit 30. How much can we stop this Ole Miss offense, though?
I don't. That's where I am just I don't know, man.
If our defense is really going out there, really trying, I don't think Devin Moore's injury was serious. I mean, I know he got hurt a little bit, but he was standing on the sideline. It looks like he was just shaking up a bit. I'm assuming he's fine. He has some solid corners, not elite, not great. I guess the way this would happen is Ole Miss underlooking us, maybe. I just don't think Lane Kiffin will underlook this game.
Not after what happened last year. Yeah, what happened last year, plus what's happening right now.
It's like it's not that this Ole Miss team has been undeniable. Like, just look at their game against Washington State, their game against Arkansas, their game against Kentucky. Like, they've been in some close games, and if we're playing at our peak, or if we're playing at a solid level like we've played for most of the season, or we played, let's say, the 4 games in the middle, the Texas through Georgia game. If we're playing at that point, I think this is a winnable game. I mean, I remember before the Georgia game, we talked about it. Before the Georgia game. Like, we said we weren't going to pick it, but based on how we played after the Georgia game too, based on how we played, like, Ole Miss will be a good game. It'll be a close game.
Yeah.
Again, David, we're breaking it down hypothetically if we're actually trying.
Also, you haven't heard my score prediction yet, Dave. Like, you haven't heard my score prediction yet.
If we don't show up, this will be worse than that. But if we do show up, if we do try in this game, because us is saying, we're going to lose by 50. Like, this look what happened against Kentucky. If we don't show up again, I mean, we're not going to show up and we're going to lose by 50 to Ole Miss.
Problem is, we can show up, but like, it still takes a level of execution that we haven't had. I mean, other than the Texas game, which frankly, I think Texas's defense a little more suspect than we thought it was at the time. I mean, in the win over Vanderbilt, Pavia threw. I mean, a lot of it, I guess it was partially garbage time, but they came back and had a shot. I mean,
they had a shot.
Like 300 yards. Like, I don't know. I think that might have been a little bit of an aberration.
See, David, he just dropped his score prediction 45-17. That might be a little wishful thinking based on what we saw against Kentucky.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going by that, it'll be worse. Yeah.
God, what are some matchups in this game that maybe you have a big eye on here? Is there anything?
I mean, I think on paper, Florida should be able to run the ball in this game. Like, that is like the one thing. It's just like we have to see it. And I mean, look, David, I agree. Like, that's why I'm not very optimistic coming into this game, because once you quit, I don't think you get guys to unquit. But I mean, if we quit, we should just cap this segment at 5 minutes and both pick 50-7, because that's what it'll look like.
I'm hoping that Dave is just delayed watching this and is commenting live, so he didn't see my breakdown that we're not predicting this. I mean, we're trying to describe it if we show up. If we're not saying we are going to show up.
What's Florida's path to competing in this game? What does it look like if Florida is able to compete in this game? That's what we're talking about.
Yes, but Florida should be able to run the ball, as you said. Like, if they show up and give it their all, I wouldn't be surprised to see ball hit over 100 yards again. And we mentioned earlier in the show, he has a path to getting to 1,000. I was saying, if ball hits 100 yards in this game, then he's going to hit 1,000. I feel pretty confident about that.
Yeah, he probably will.
Is there anything else here? I mean, I don't think their offensive line is great, but Lane schemes around it. And I don't think we don't have world beaters on the D line. We just have solid players.
No, I don't think we have a plus matchup anywhere on defense, honestly.
I don't think the receivers are like all that great, but Lane's offensive system is able to outweigh like they've all
produced. Is the thing they've all produced. They're like all sitting at 400 plus yards on the year.
I think Winston Watkins is like their best receiver, the true freshman,
and he is their 6th leading receiver right now, still at almost 300 yards. So they have My point is like an individual skill level. I think it's more of the offensive scheme rather than the talent. Like, I mean, I think Devin Moore one-on-one is better than like all these receivers. Yeah.
But, we're going to run zone, so it's obviously not just that easy. And then the second corner, Javari Flowers is like, I don't think the receivers are an elite matchup that would take advantage over us. I think it's the system that Lane runs that allows these receivers to be able to get open, which is why we want him to come here.
That, and I do think at this point where we're at with the health of the secondary, I do think there's some guys that are just overmatched out there, and we've seen
that's fair. That's a fair point there. Just having some overmatched players, but I guess let's get into our predictions. I mean,
yeah,
I don't think I have anything else to point out here.
no, not really.
I'll let you go first.
Yeah, so David, to come full circle here, I think we have quit. I don't really have much expectation of competing in this game. I would be frankly pretty surprised if it ends up as less than a 3-score game. I've got like 35-17 in my head, and frankly, I think I might be underselling that. Like I think that might be optimistic.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be a little bit more optimistic than you on that one. I mean, honestly, 35-17, no. I thought you were gonna be a bit larger there.
I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and predict like 45-10 when that hasn't happened to us all year, except for whatever that was last night, which wasn't even quite that bad. But like, so I have a hard time picking that, but like, I think this is gonna be similar to the A&M game, just like never really in it, but like there's maybe a time where you nominally have a chance, but like you're pretty clearly overmatched from the start.
Yeah, I kind of think we're going to have, I mean, yeah, like you said, like, I don't think we're necessarily going to be leading or anything, but I think it'll be within striking distance in the first half, but then things will break down. I'll go, honestly, 35-17 sounds about accurate. You know, I'll say 38-20. I think we score a bit or more early on, and then just get like a field goal or something in the second half.
I would be absolutely stunned if we hold them under 30. If we keep them from scoring. I mean, to the point where like if they don't score 30, I'm like, wow, Florida might win this game. Like I'm not sure. Like if Ole Miss won this game like 24-10, I wouldn't really know how to feel about that. That would be very surprising.
I did say 38 for them, just in case you misheard me.
No, I know.
Oh, okay.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm saying, like, I think that's the consistency between you and I's prediction is I just do not see them scoring less than 30.
Yeah,
I'm saying if Ole Miss won this game like 24-10, that would be very strange.
Yeah, I was just making sure you didn't mishear me. Thought I said 28 or something.
No. Yeah, I heard you.
So you have 35-17. I have 38-20. Pretty similar games there. Is your scoring more in like garbage time or in between?
Probably.
Like, what do you think?
I see it being probably like halftime, something like 21-10. And then like they score a couple, pull away, and then we maybe score in garbage time. That's kind of how I see it playing out.
Okay, yeah, that's a fair ranking. That's about. Let's see. I think it's going to be like 7. I think it might be like 17 all at halftime. And then we see like a.
You think they just like just bully ball in the second half, kind of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of think they do that. But hey, it would be a nice treat if we're able to figure a way to pull an upset here.
I mean, it'd be really fun because I like all these games at this point. You're just playing to like, oh, it'd be cool to beat Georgia. Like, oh, let's get to a bowl game. But like winning this game, I mean, first of all, just with the Twitter trash talk, it'd be really funny to potentially ruin their season. But like, also, there is a legit material benefit in the sense that it just makes things easier with a potential Kiffin hiring.
Yeah, because it puts them in a position to where if they lose Mississippi State, they are out in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it does add a material advantage there. But nope. It was a fun stream here. It was nice to have everyone active, but we made our predictions. We're not too sure about our schedule for next week because I will be at the Ole Miss game. It will be my birthday, so I'm gonna have a bit of fun. Like I don't know if I'm gonna be able to hop on for a post game. Might have to lay our scheduled stream time on Sunday. I don't know yet, so we'll have our streams the day before of what we're doing. So if it's not there, then you're gonna have to maybe wait another day for it to come up. But Tyler, do you have any other closing thoughts before I end the stream?
No, just I mean, this is as interesting a game narratively as you can get in what is a lost season. So I guess there's that.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you like the stream, subscribe to the channel. We're usually live every Sunday at 7 o'clock like we were today, and we'll be most weeks. So make sure you guys show up for that. Hit the like button. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully a bit better of a showing for the Gators out there against Ole Miss. Or maybe we get some happy news regarding the coaching search in the time to give us a little bit of joy. And basketball is also got some interesting games this week against 2 in-state opponents. that against FSU and Miami. But thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. See you then. And as always, go Gators.